Hi, my name's Dr. Kate Ringham. I'm the Programme Lead in Applied Accounting at Oxford Brookes Business School in Oxford Brookes University. And this video is talking about paraphrasing and why it is important that you paraphrase within your research and analysis project for the BSc in Applied Accounting. So let's start by thinking about what is paraphrasing. Well, paraphrasing means that you are taking the words of another source and restating them using your own vocabulary. So taking another person's ideas and writing them in your own words. So you're keeping the original meaning of the text and you're not copying its exact wording. You obviously need to acknowledge that these are someone else's ideas by including a reference. So why then is it important? Why do we paraphrase? Well, by paraphrasing, we're actually demonstrating understanding. And this is part of the first assessment criteria for the research and analysis project. To be able to paraphrase well, you really do need to understand the materials and understand what you've read before you attempt to rewrite it. And then you can convey the meaning of the source in your own words. So how do you do it? Well, you want to read and reread the original information that you're working from. So you absorb and understand what you've read. Then put the original information to one side and rewrite the information in your own words from your memory, so that it's definitely your words that you're using to explain the other person's idea. Once you've done that, you want to check that what you've written does actually convey the information that you want it to do, and you must include the reference for the original source. In terms of what not to do when you're paraphrasing, please don't take the original source and just change or substitute one or two words. If you do this, the work will read very similarly to the original. You may find that it appears in a text matching software. You won't have used a direct quote, so your referencing won't be accurate, and this is known as plagiarism. But you also might substitute words that actually change the meaning of the text, so you don't end up conveying the original sense of the source and you end up confusing the reader. So please do read the original source, understand what the source is telling you, and then write it in your own words, rather than mechanically saying, here's a piece of information that I've copied, I'm going to change every third or fourth word. That isn't good academic writing, and you are likely to fail if you do that. So when you're paraphrasing, you will need to convey the sense that another person has actually come up with this idea. And so we talk about the reporting words. So these are the words that you would use to be able to introduce somebody else's ideas that you've then paraphrased. So you could say, so-and-so argues that, or observes that, and then you would paraphrase the information that you want to convey. If you are going to say the definition of something, then you usually use a direct quote if you're actually defining a concept or an idea, and then you would use a reference for that as well. So just as a quick reminder on the way that we would reference the source, paraphrasing does still require a reference because you've used the ideas of another. So in the text, in your research report, you would say that the author and a date claims that, or observes that, or maintains that, and then the information that you're using from that author. Another way of paraphrasing is taking the information that you want to convey, the idea that you want to convey, explaining that, and then just opening a bracket, putting the author's name, just their surname, a comma, and the date, and then closing the bracket. And that is indicating that the information prior to the brackets is the information that has been drawn from the author listed in the brackets. You then obviously need to include the source in your reference list, and in the reference list, and your reference list is presented in alphabetical order, you would give the author's surname, the initial of their first name, the date, the article title in quotation marks, and then often, because you're using internet sources, it would be available from, and give a URL and the date on which you accessed it. There are a couple more videos on referencing in a little bit more detail. So for that in-text citation and the information that you present in the reference list, there are a couple of videos on referencing academic articles, a video on referencing internet sources and articles, and a video, a YouTube video referencing on how to reference primary data and how you might use the information that you've gathered if you've done qualitative or quantitative studies. So please do subscribe to the YouTube channel, make sure you don't miss anything. I hope you found this useful.